And welcome back to part 8 or 9. It actually occurs to me I didn't bother checking which part I was on before I even started the video. Give me 1 second here. We are on part 9 of What If Goku Never Hit His Head. So last time on the Dragon Ball Z What If. Basically, we kind of flashed through the end of the Buu saga and the part of portion of Super. We left off with the Universe 6 tournament. So this would... the catalyst for the Universe 6 tournament would still probably be about the same as it was in the original. Goku and Raditz are training with Beerus. Champa comes in, acts like a dick, and overall decides, hey you, I want your planet, so we're going to battle for it. And there you go. So who is on the Universe 6 team in this version? Well, obviously you get Raditz and Goku. I think that's the obvious bunch right there. You also get Piccolo, but who is that final member? Is it Gohan in this version? Are the androids around? Well, the androids really aren't around in this version, so that's a no-go. Sadly, Vegeta's not hanging around anywhere either, so that's really not an option. At least nowhere nearby. But I think it would be Gohan in this version. I think Gohan has actually been able to stay relatively up to date with his training and it has never really weakened thanks to the combined efforts of his dad, Goku. I said that in the wrong order, but that's or in the wrong way, but his dad, Piccolo. No. Thanks to Goku, his dad, Raditz, and Piccolo, training, all that. So yeah, that's what would happen. Obviously, Goku wants to go first. And there's no risk of Goku being expelled because I think Vegeta, frankly, Raditz would be stupid enough to say, we should do a written exam. It's like, why? You literally lost Buu because of that, you idiots. Like, Vegeta, that was dumb. So Goku goes first. The Batama fight goes the same. The Frost fight goes the same. Piccolo fights Frost. Goes the same. Find out he's cheating. Fortunately, neither Raditz nor Gohan have the same level of pride as Vegeta, so they don't say, hey, Piccolo, give up, surrender the match, or disqualify yourself so I can beat the crap out of him. That doesn't happen. So Frost is just disqualified, which means you still have Piccolo, who now fights the next match. If I'm remembering correctly, that was against Magerta. I think Piccolo, it depends on where we stand in the series. This version of Piccolo is on the weaker side, so I don't see him being able, plus he's also more tired out right now, so I don't see him being able to take on Magerta. Gohan goes in next, and Gohan figures out ultimately that, bad words make him, feel bad. So name calling, all that, make him feel bad and, make him disable him, if you will. So he figures that out. Then it's Gohan versus Kaba. This is where things get a little interesting. Gohan isn't really as strong as Kaba. We know Kaba is at least on par with base form Vegeta at that point in time. In fact, he could even go kind of toe-to-toe with Super Saiyan Vegeta for a little bit. But then he gained Super Saiyan and, even at the playing field, but then Vegeta showed off Blue and beat his ass down. Gohan is not that strong, sadly. So, yeah, I don't see Gohan being able to beat Kaba, unfortunately. While it'd be an intense fight, ultimately Gohan would lose. Raditz would come in. Goku obviously was reinstated. And they would probably go toe-to-toe. I don't see Raditz being like the whole teacher about your Saiyan pride and all that. I think Raditz is just like, all right, my turn, and then just beats Kaba. And then Hit comes along, beats Raditz down pretty sufficiently. Goku, though, who's been watching, figures out Hit, and they have their entire fight, which would go pretty much verbatim. And then the Omni King shows up. He's like, "Oh, that was fun. You're silly. I like silly things." And so there you go. You would still get the Goku Black art, which comes next, but would there be any supreme differences? Well, Raditz is obviously not Vegeta. Plus, he knows the Kaioken. So, like with Goku, he does add the Kaioken onto his power, and to allow him to kind of compete with Zamasu and Goku Black. I don't see them really succeeding much beyond their beyond what they are beyond what like Vegeta and Goku did, even with the Kaioken, because of those damn immortal bodies. There's a good chance, sadly, that Raditz and Goku would still head off before Roshi gives them a sealing tag for whatever they seal their opponent in. So I could still see that happening as well. And then obviously there's the fusion between Raditz and Goku, which will be, well, I think the Kakarot or the Vegito comes from the fact that someone argued this with me, or says like that's not really how it works. Like no personality is more dominant than the other. Well, if that were the case, then it wouldn't be Vegito, it'd be Vegito, because Vegito is basically Vegeta and Kakarot, or Kakaroto as it is in the Japanese, which is Goku's Saiyan name. But Gogeta is obviously a combination of Goku and Vegeta, which is Goku's given name on the planet. So clearly, at least some level of Vegeta's influence is a little overtakes Vegito just a little bit compared to Gogeta, where it's clearly clearly slightly more Goku's influence. You can argue with me all you want, but that it wouldn't explain why they chose the name otherwise. Because that actually really kind of shows and stands out the slight difference in personality between Vegeta and Vegito and Gogeta. But because Raditz Raditz still calls him Kakarot, sure, but Raditz is also accepting of the whole Goku name as well. He maybe even calls him Goku from time to time. He's used to Kakarot, that's what he knows his brother as. But he's he is still Goku he's still Kakarot to him. So you could still get a Kakarot in Rad's name. So what would it be? Depending on the fusion, you would have what? Radito? Radito is probably better, but then there's a Radku, which I always like Radku. Or if you want to go the other side of the fence there, it'd be Goku, Goku and so it'd be Gokutids. Oh God, that's terrible. So why don't we just go with Radku for now? So anyway, it turns in the Radku. They have their fight with Fuse Zamasu or Merge Zamasu. And that still goes down about the same. Like everything generally goes the way it's supposed to go in this version. Like I could see maybe Radko creating the false moon and turning into. Well, no, they can't because he doesn't have the tail, sadly. So Raditz can't do that anymore. But still, they would still be able to add Kaioken on there. Unfortunately, the fusion wouldn't last as long, and they'd separate. Trunks defeats Merge Zamasu, who then merges with the timelines and wipes out Merge Zamasu. There you go. Which would lead us now into the Tournament of Power. Now, the Tournament of Power, I mean, obviously your team right now would consist of Goku, Piccolo, Raditz, Gohan, Roshi, Krillin, Tien. But now you're missing 3 whole individuals there. That's not a small amount. Now, Nappa would probably be able to join up with the group. Join up in the fight. He's an older Saiyan, but he can still lend a hand when he has to. I do believe they might try to go out and find Vegeta again. I think that's possible. It's reasonable to think that if the universe and all of existence is at stake, let bygones be bygones with what happened and go out and find him. And, Whis would like to search around a bit. And, oh, yes, I think I found him. Hold on. Ah, Vegeta. Oh, who are you? Oh, I'm Whis. No, nothing about that. Come with me. And say, who are you, Hunter? Take your hands off. Ah! Where am I? And say, wait, this is Earth again. I'm back. Why am I back? It's like, well, funny story, Vegeta. Kakarot. Nappa. And Raditz. You turncoat. It's not my fault, Vegeta. You went rogue, Vegeta. Not my... Sorry, it's not my fault you went rogue, Vegeta. Don't judge me for your follies. It's like, hold on, they explain the situation. Why should I care? It's like, because, Vegeta, if this universe goes, you go too. And Vegeta's just like, you think I care? You think I care after all the humiliation I suffered? It's like, and to which Beerus actually is like, actually finally like steps and is like, you will participate in this fight, Saiyan. Saying, oh, so help me God, I'll make whatever the Omni King's about to do to this world seem like child's play to what I'll do to you. To which Vegeta now is having flashbacks, remembering exactly who Beerus is. Like, you, that's right, that's right, I'm Beerus. You're still as annoying as you were when you were a brat. And so, Vegeta, all right, I'll help. It's like, great, but that still leaves one more slot. They're just trying to think. It's like, man, it's too bad. They're talking about like the gang and Cell and Frieza and all that. And, well, yeah, I mean, they did deal with Cell, but still, it's like, man, wish we didn't have to kill everybody. And they're thinking about that, and they're wondering, well, maybe, and it's like, maybe what? Well, we could always bring Frieza back. It's like, are you insane, Kakarot? Look, it's not like Frieza's been probably hasn't gotten any stronger, or at least not much stronger in the other world. So why don't we just ask Baba to bring him back for a day, and we'll be able to keep him in check. Hell, even Vegeta is probably way stronger than Frieza now. So to which Vegeta does like, really? Is that the case? Well, of course I am. I am the legendary Super Saiyan. It's like, yeah, it's like, please don't even start with that, Vegeta. These two surpassed you eons ago. It's like, what? Which, I mean, because Vegeta at this point has probably been training and, trying to get stronger, and probably has, like, a perfected Super Saiyan 2, and maybe even managed to hit, like, Super Saiyan 3. It's like, you really want to test that out? It's like, yeah, how about I go and you, have it out with him? It's like, sure, why not? To which, Vegeta's like, fine, right, let's see how much stronger you really got. Any powers of the Super Saiyan 3. To which, well, I must admit, I'm impressed. You actually managed to reach the third state. So you have no idea how strong, no idea how strong I've really got any powers up even further. It's like, now I'll show you which one of us is really stronger. It's like, what? And all of a sudden, I can't sense any energy off of him. What is it? This, we told you, Vegeta. Or he even told you, Vegeta, you wouldn't be able to, we surpassed you a while ago. This is Super Saiyan God. It's like, go Super Saiyan, and he just quickly bitch slaps Vegeta around. They'll heal him up. Goku has his interaction with Frieza. They agree to bring him back. Frieza, unfortunately, is just not that strong. So, everything, so he can't even really challenge Goku very much in this case. By the way, the whole tournament, like preliminary match, that would go down the same except as Red's filling her for Boo. That's all that would happen. And so the tournament goes down. Goku and Raditz, take out Universe 9 together. Gohan, after training with Piccolo for a while, because they all spent some time training, ultimately is like the guy who takes out the Universe 10 guy. There's a lot of the same stuff going on. However, there are some key differences. Vegeta, for example, much weaker. Frieza, much weaker. While they're still very powerful and can still take on a lot of these fighters. Vegeta, goes against like Caulifla and Kale, or Caulifla, for example. And to be fair, when he goes like the Super Saiyan 2, he can easily, they can match each other pretty all right. And unlike Goku, he's not going to just be expertly trying to teach them what to do. In fact, maybe he's probably even maybe a bit misogynist and therefore belittles them because they're women. And so, him and Caulifla clash. Ultimately, though, Caulifla, as far as we can tell, the same in Universe 6 Saiyans are a little bit more naturally stronger than the Universe 7 Saiyans. They don't have their tails, but they, again, Kaba, Caulifla, could go toe-to-toe with base form Super Goku and Vegeta, who at that point had God Ki infused in their base. So, yeah, the Universe 6 Saiyans are pretty strong. But again, Vegeta's got the Super Saiyan transformations, goes to Super Saiyan 3, starts to beat on Kale, or his Caulifla, to which Kale is getting pissed off by this. And ultimately transforms and starts, not mollywhacking, starts ragdolling Vegeta, just just literally throws him out of the ring because she Broly's his ass hard. And to which then Jiren takes her after she knocks out a member of the Pride Troopers. Jiren knocks her out, or doesn't knock her out of the ring, but knocks her out. So Vegeta's knocked out. Krillin, we know, will get knocked out. Actually, to be fair, Krillin might not get knocked out as early as he initially would because he was saving his wife and kind of messing with his bragging with his wife a bit. So Krillin might last longer in this version because he's not married in this version. But he still probably will get knocked out. Like the humans are were the first 3 to get knocked out. But I imagine Vegeta would follow in suit. Frieza, though, is conniving, so he probably sticks to the shadows a little bit and takes out the individuals he can. Ultimately, this would all lead to Goku going off against Jiren. And unfortunately, that is roughly about the same as what is to be expected here, that he just can't defeat him. Ultimately, though, he did learn the Spirit Bomb, so you still get Ultra Instinct Goku fighting him. All's well that ends well. Hit comes after Jiren. Frieza does give a little portion of energy to him. And then once Hit's taken care of, you go once again back to a lot of the other fights, except Raditz is more inclined to help his brother out than Vegeta was. So he aids in the fight against Caulifla and Kale, ultimately leading to them now going toe-to-toe with Kefla. And this is a bit of a struggle fight for them, but together, I think they are actually able to ultimately overtake Kefla, who is more than the sum of her farts. Is more than the sum of her parts, admittedly, but the 2 more experienced Saiyans and comparable power Saiyans are able to definitely keep up with her, and ultimately, I think, put her down. Which means you don't get the awesome slide Kamehameha, unfortunately. Which was still one of the highlight moments of that entire tournament. It was a messy arc, but you cannot deny it had highlights. The Goku versus Jiren fight, part 1 and 2, the finale. The Roshi being a bad. I love the Roshi episode, by the way. The Goku Kamehameha slide, just the look on her face, just like, I loved it. You'd still probably lose Piccolo. Piccolo would probably still go next. They take care of Universe 4. Universe 3, Aniraz is born. They have to deal with him. But I think Gohan, unfortunately, would go next after that. Sadly, I don't. The problem here is that Vegeta would get knocked out pretty quick, I think, because of his damn pride. He hasn't really grown that much. Frieza, Goku, Raditz, and Gohan would probably be the last 4 standing. Because it was, I'm just remembering, Goku, Gohan, Raditz, Frieza, Piccolo, Tien, Krillin, Roshi, Frieza. Oh, I was actually down 1. Vegeta. That was it. Yeah, so it was a different team setup than before, but they're actually suffering quite a bit in this version. So really, I think it would ultimately come down to Frieza, Goku, and Raditz against Universe 9. Frieza, sadly, I think Frieza might actually take himself out just to get revenge on Dispo. So that I think is very likely. And that would leave Goku and Raditz to fight Toppo and Jiren. Goku is, doing his best against Jiren, but can't do anything, really, just because Jiren is still that much more powerful, even with the Kaioken times 20 on. Raditz is struggling against Toppo, but Toppo's not as strong as Jiren, so ultimately I think he is able to overcome Toppo and then come in to try to aid Goku against Jiren. Not really doing very well, to be fair. Ultimately, the Goku powers up the Kaioken times 20. He's like, Raditz goes, I'm going to try something, Kakarot. It's still experimental, but it looks like we don't have many options. He's like, what are you trying to do? And he powers down. Focus. He's like, this isn't, you're wasting time. And then, wasting my time. Like, and he starts powering up. He's going through his motions, Super Saiyan 2. He even hits the third stage. He's like, whoa, you hit Super Saiyan 3? That's awesome. But it's not strong enough. He's like, that's not it. And all of a sudden, he's like, wait, but how? He's lost his tail. All of a sudden, he starts to transform into his golden ape forms. He's focusing on the feeling he had at the time of what it is to transform into. He's like, oh, man, this is not good. And to which he even starting to flash through his, his god form as well. Now he's got like a Super Saiyan, I guess technically you'd have a red ape and then a blue ape. And then finally, he just, and all of a sudden the power's radiating. Even Jiren's like, and then finally the power compresses and just boom. He's like, GG. Get that GT music going out there. GG for all my GT homies out there. GG. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the Grand Tour song as an intro song, but as like a novelty song for the series, it's kind of like a marketing song. It's got a good beat. That's the thing. I think that's the problem with that's not GT's problem, but among like the GT intro, not like not like with Dragon Ball Dragon Ball Z Kai, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon, rock the dragon, or even Dragon Ball Super, which is like okay, just another day, those still had a really good beat, like those felt like Dragon Ball Z, whereas GT's did not. Like they were trying to do some sort of weird rap, and like that didn't work as an intro. But if you play that music in a transformation reveal, it's kind of a little hype. I'm not gonna lie. There you go. And anyway, going back to what we were going to, we have standing for you not just Super Saiyan 4 Raditz. This is Super Saiyan God, or what we'll call it. I always call Super Saiyan Primal Raditz. And it's like, what? And even Goku was like, what is that? It's like, I've only been experimenting with this form, trying to capture the feeling of transforming into the Golden Osaru. This is what I was able to accomplish, but I've never added it with my God Ki before, and even it's still new, and I've never added it with God Ki before, so it's still volatile. And Raditz is standing there, his hair is just luscious, like a mane of power. He's got the fur, so here's the thing. The hair color transformation comes from the fact that, even though red and yellow do not make blue, that's what happens in this case, because you're combining two different powers of two different colors. Here, Raditz's hair is still black, so his hair would still be red, but the fur is a different color. So, you know what? For the sake of a cool color motif, let's go with dark crimson hair that's glowing with like a golden orange to go with the golden Osaru form. I think that would be a really cool juxtaposed. And so he's standing in this new power, which is very much eclipsing anything Goku was initially brought on, acquired before. Even Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20, this thing is well surpassing it. And Jiren even says this, and now Jiren's like, so Son Goku was not the challenge. It was not the one to worry about. Yeah. To which Goku still powers up and even pushes it. Kaioken times 3! And then, powers up, and then him and Raz now go. And now they're putting Jiren on the back foot. Jiren is doing his best to keep up. Raz is still even stronger than Goku. And so he is now actually having to put legitimate effort in. Up until Goku and Jiren's second fight, you never really got the impression that he had to put a lot of effort in, but he had to at least just put the bare minimum. Now he's got to go past the bare minimum. And, they're going toe-to-toe. Raditz basically says, all or nothing for Kaioken times 20! And he just, right, and even Goku's like, Raditz, you don't know what I did? Kamehameha! And Jiren was not expecting the Kaioken added on there. Just, and Jiren basically gets caught, basically like a deer in the headlights. And Goku adds on to it, adding his own Kamehameha. So it's like, Jiren now just, he's being pushed back. Like, he is actually putting effort in now. Like, not even just putting beyond the barrier. He is now actually trying and failing to push this attack back. Just all this power, and Raditz can even feel his body's faltering. His muscles are starting to tear. Just, it's like, Raditz, it's fine, Kakarot. You'll be able to heal up. We can heal us up. We have senzu beans. Just for our families, for everyone. Keep it up. And Goku's like, right. They're basically just giving it their all, and their bodies are getting torn. And Jiren's like, and finally Jiren just says, screw it. Finally just boom, powers up to that full power, and just blows them both back. And now they're just, I commend you, Son Goku. Raditz. Son Raditz. Technically, yeah, I guess you could adopt the surname Son. Son Raditz. But this is the end for you. Yeah, never has an opponent pushed me as far as you two have. You have my respect and my thanks. Though your universe will be erased, you will live on in my memories. Take comfort in that. To which, it's like, Raditz like, Raditz struggles to get up and just gives him his remaining energy to basically Goku to kind of get it back on his feet. And he just kind of grabs on, like, no, never. Boom, kind of blast with a little bit, like how I like Vegeta did with his final flash. Couldn't even transform at that point. Just, you'll be first then, Raditz. Boom, just knocks him out of the ring. To which Goku stands up for the final time. They have their climactic fight, finally. Goku goes all the way to Ultra Instinct, Mastered Ultra Instinct, which again surpasses even the form that Raditz just took. And beats the and legitimately, I think, straight up beats Jiren, because Jiren at this point now has had to deal with Raditz and Goku together on a level he did not expect, and ultimately wins before Goku just, his body can't take Ultra Instinct anymore. So he wins, but he's in pain. It's like, what is the wish did you wish that you want, Son Goku? Just Goku thinks about it, and he just smiles like, bring the other universes back. Are you sure? Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing this again someday. It's kind of going to be impossible without all those guys. Besides, I don't think they really deserved it. And, Goku being Goku is just like, peas and carrots. And so they bring back the other universes. They heal him up. And Frieza even gets his reward of being brought back. And all's well that ends well. Vegeta goes back off to sulking. Frieza's ruling his empire again. So there's that. Last but not least would be Dragon Ball Super Broly. Would this even happen? That's a legitimate question. Because Frieza is back, but he's much weaker in this version. I'm going to say that, yeah, they find Broly. Yeah, they bring him to Frieza. Maybe they bring... So, yes, I think it could happen. In fact, yeah, I'd say it would happen. Now, the question would quickly become, can Goku and Raditz take on Broly? Because first off, Frieza killing Paragus is not going to go for Frieza, because Broly wailed on him for over an hour, and he had his golden form. He don't have that here. Maybe he could train for it. Maybe, that could be the first time you see the golden form, and he still gets his shit kicked in. But here you would have Goku and Raditz, doing everything. They don't have the fusion dance to rely on this time, because neither of them never died. But I think, you would have Goku, maybe Raditz and Goku would be kind of trying to teach each other things. I can see Goku eventually hitting the Super Saiyan 4 form and combining it with the God Ki, all that. But just not enough time has passed for that to really be an option. So it would really just come down to Goku and Raditz combining their strength again into beating Broly. And again, going into that super form that Raditz has, except this time he'd probably have a little bit more control over it. And, them going toe-to-toe clashing. Ultimately, I think they would just barely edge out the win. And, then they'd go visit Broly and, say, hey, just call me Kakarot. And all's well that ends well for Dragon Ball Super. So, at near 30-minute mark, that is the end of this What If. We'll be starting a new one next Saturday, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I will see you folks for the next one. Later.